Across our planet, there are vast open landscapes that seem to stretch into eternity, caught in a perpetual dance between sun and earth. These are the savannas, one of the most iconic and yet misunderstood biomes on Earth. They are not quite forest, nor are they desert. Instead, they exist in a breathtakingly delicate balance, a world sculpted from the elemental forces of fire, water, and life itself. This is a kingdom of grass, a realm where the horizon is the only boundary, and survival depends on adapting to a rhythm of constant change. To understand the savanna is to understand a landscape defined not by stability, but by disturbance. It is a world forged in the crucible of seasonal extremes, where life must endure both deluge and drought, and where the ever-present threat of fire is not an agent of destruction, but a vital catalyst for renewal. These remarkable ecosystems are found girdling the globe, primarily in the tropical and subtropical zones. The most famous are the vast plains of Africa, home to the greatest wildlife spectacles on Earth. But savannas also flourish across the Cerrado of South America, the sweeping grasslands of northern Australia, and significant parts of India and Southeast Asia. While they may look similar at a glance, wide open grasslands punctuated by scattered resilient trees, each region possesses its own unique character, its own cast of flora and fauna, all bound by the same fundamental rules of savanna life. This global distribution is no accident. Savannas typically occupy regions where rainfall is too low to support a dense forest, but too high to create a true desert. They are transitional worlds, buffer zones between two extremes, and their existence is governed by one of the planet's great climatic engines. The defining feature, the very pulse of the savanna, is its profound seasonal rhythm. This is dictated by the movement of the intertropical convergence zone, a belt of low pressure near the equator where trade winds meet. As this zone shifts north and south with the seasons, it brings with it a period of intense, life-giving rain. Unlike the steady, year-round precipitation of a rainforest, the savanna's wet season is a deluge. The skies open, and for several months, the landscape is transformed. But this abundance is fleeting. As the climatic belt moves on, the rains cease as abruptly as they began, ushering in a long, harsh, dry season. The sun beats down relentlessly, baking the earth and evaporating the last vestiges of surface water. It is this dramatic swing between feast and famine, between flood and drought, that sets the stage for all life here. Every plant and every animal has had to devise a strategy to survive not just one of these conditions, but both. This duality is the core challenge and the primary architect of the savanna's extraordinary biodiversity. The landscape may appear simple, a sea of grass and a few lonely trees, but this simplicity is deceptive. It is a highly complex system supporting a web of life more intricate and dynamic than almost any other on the planet. In the wet season, the savanna explodes with life. The grasses, the true foundation of this ecosystem, respond with astonishing speed. These are predominantly C4 grasses, a special type of plant that is incredibly efficient at photosynthesis in high-temperature, high-light conditions. They can grow several centimeters in a single day, racing to complete their life cycle while water is plentiful. This explosion of growth provides a banquet for the vast herds of herbivores that define the savanna. The trees, too, have their own strategies. Icons of the savanna like the flat-topped acacia and the monumental baobab have evolved remarkable adaptations. Acacias develop incredibly deep taproots, sometimes plunging over 50 meters into the earth to find subterranean water sources, allowing them to stay green long into the dry season. Their bark is thick and often fire-resistant, and their leaves are small to minimize water loss. The baobab, on the other hand, acts as a living reservoir. Its enormous fibrous trunk can store thousands of liters of water, a vital supply to see it through the driest months. These trees are not just survivors, they are anchors of the ecosystem, providing shade, food and shelter for countless other species. Then comes the second great architect of the savanna, fire. As the dry season progresses, the lush grasses wither and turn to tinder, creating the perfect conditions for fire, often sparked by lightning strikes. In many of the world's biomes, fire is a catastrophe, an event of pure destruction. But here, it is an essential, rejuvenating force. Without regular fires, the scattered trees and shrubs would gradually advance, their seedlings taking root and growing unchecked. Over time, the open grassland would become a closed canopy woodland, and the savanna, as we know it, would vanish. The fires that sweep through the savanna are typically fast-moving and relatively low intensity. They burn through the dry grass layer, but often lack the heat to kill the well-protected adult trees. More importantly, this process is a vital part of the nutrient cycle. The fire releases minerals and nutrients that were locked up in the dead plant matter, returning them to the soil in the form of ash. This acts as a natural fertilizer, preparing the ground for the next wave of growth. When the rains return, this enriched soil gives rise to fresh, nutritious grass shoots. This post-fire regrowth is precisely what the great grazing herds are waiting for. The new grass is tender and packed with nutrients, far more palatable than the tough, fibrous stalks of the previous season. Animals have an innate understanding of this cycle. Many plants are fire-adapted, with underground root systems or seeds that are stimulated to germinate by the heat and smoke. Animals, too, have evolved to cope. Most large mammals can simply outrun the flames, while smaller creatures retreat into underground burrows or find refuge in termite mounds. For them, the fire is a temporary inconvenience that promises a future feast. This intricate relationship with fire is one of the key differences that sets the savanna apart from any other environment. And it is this abundance of grass, renewed by rain and fire, that supports the third defining feature of the savanna, its unparalleled concentration of large animals. Nowhere else on the planet do such massive herds of grazers and browsers roam in such staggering numbers. Millions of wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, and antelope form a constantly moving river of life across the plains. Their lives are a continuous search for fresh pasture and water, a journey dictated by the seasonal rhythm of the land. And where there are herds, there are hunters. The savanna is the stage for the most dramatic predator-prey interactions on Earth. Powerful predators like lions, leopards, cheetahs, and hyenas have evolved alongside the herds, each perfecting a unique strategy for the hunt. The open landscape offers little cover, making every encounter a test of speed, stamina, and strategy. This constant dynamic tension shapes the behavior of every animal here. The grazers form vast herds for protection, their collective vigilance a formidable defense. The predators, in turn, must be masters of stealth, teamwork, and explosive power. So, the savanna is not a static place. It is a mosaic, a patchwork landscape constantly being reshaped by the interplay of rainfall, grazing, and fire. A patch of land might be grazed heavily one year, burned the next, and then left to recover. This continuous disturbance prevents any single element from dominating and is the very reason for its resilience and biodiversity. It is a system that thrives on stress. Take away the fires, and it becomes a forest. Take away the grazers, and the vegetation changes. Alter the seasonal rains, and the entire foundation crumbles. This fragile, powerful balance, born of disturbance and sustained by rhythm, is what makes the savanna a truly unique and irreplaceable treasure of our natural world. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.